Hello there, everyone. I am hoping that we are live. Just move this up a little bit. Hopefully you can all see me. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. I'm just seeing if we are on Facebook as well. So we have had a little bit more luck this time around. Oh yeah, that looks like us, doesn't it? Let me just turn myself down. Hello there. So I think I can see everybody's comments as well. So that's good. That's a good start. Hello to Laura Ann and Katrin. Hello, how are you? So excuse me. So, yeah, I think we seem to be up and running. Let's just give it a little quick check on all channels. Looks like yes, that looks good. So yeah, so we're up and running. Excellent. So, the issue that I had earlier was was that I didn't seem to be able to link to the scheduled post that we'd got set up in Facebook for some reason. So, but at least it is now. We are now live on both channels, whereas on Tuesday I was only able to stream to YouTube because it lost the Facebook connection altogether, which is weird. So when I tested it earlier on today, it all worked fine and it was going to link up. So I don't know quite why the scheduled Facebook post disappears. I don't know whether it was because I was a little bit late logging on, connecting because of setup issues. I don't know. But I'm glad you're here with me. So I've got Katrin. Laura, Emma's here, Jess is with us, Julie's watching us on YouTube with the gang, so hello to you guys as well. So let's have let's do a bit of crafting. It's been a weird day today, because I've had a few bits and bobs that needed to do, and yeah, I've just been a little bit fed up because it's been so cold, and it's been snowing here in Sheffield. I don't know if anybody else has had any snow, so I'm hoping to get my crafty mojo going tonight because it's been a little bit absent, but I've got a couple of things that I'd quite like to do. Let me grab some bits and bobs here. Yeah, I think I've got everything I need just about in this pile. So these are the cards that we made on Tuesday. So I managed to make 2 cards on Tuesday, which was pretty good for me. But I did have some bits already made up. So I had some of the little hearts made up, and I also had my little avocados already coloured up. And I do have some other images from the new release that I haven't yet used. So Lauren's saying that she's had a nightmare with the snow today as well. And Lindsay says, watching on YouTube, it's great to have you on the TV instead of my little phone screen. Oh, that's cool. I hope the picture's all right. It seems okay at the moment. I think my lighting situation is a little bit better, although I do feel like the light on my face is quite bright, and it's not as bright on the so it kind of washes me out. But I mean, I've not got much colour at the moment anyway. So because we've just been inside all of the time. So I also want to use the Love You Lots die today. Oh, that's one of the ideas anyway. So I'm just having a quick look in my stash here to see if I've got anything else that I've already coloured and cut up that we can use. or any bits that I haven't yet played with that I might like to play with, because there's so many lovely sets in the new release. These are a couple of favourites there. And then I've also got my paper pad here, which again I've used quite a bit of it already, but there's some really cool papers in here that I do like to use. So I've got a few ideas, things that I might like to do. Like I say, there's a couple of ideas using the paper pads. Let's move these out of the way. Sometimes I just get a little bit, so many ideas, so little time. I've got this this little image here, which I think is really adorable, and I'd really like to use that on something. And then I've also got the toaster, and we go together like toast and jam, which is really cute. And then the sentiment with this is, "You're a real cutie pie." And that, I think that could be quite a cute little setup. If I can move things around with my daft fingers. I get my pokey tool. So yeah, so the little "I love you lots" and "you're a real cutie pie" little sub sentiment is pretty cute, isn't it? So I think we might do that. And then I've also got another like idea for the we go together like toast and jam, which is kind of cute. And I've also got part of a card already made. So who knows what we might end up doing tonight? We might end up making 3 cards if we get super excited. So let's have a little go at a background for our little image here. And I'm going to use the image that I've already coloured up because it seems rude not to, doesn't it? And you can see that the coordinating die cuts around that lovely little heart as well, which is really cool. So I'm not going to use this die cut piece. I'm going to save that again for another day, because the colour won't go with our already coloured up little cutie pie. So I'm contemplating doing some ink blending, as we do like to do a bit of ink blending. And then I'm thinking kind of colour schemes to go with this little guy. Just going to have a little look-see here. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. So this is the Copic colour wheel, which is quite helpful in terms of me just working out what colours might go with my little Copic coloured image here. Because typically speaking, you're going to use colours that are either side of that will work quite well, or you're going to go opposites will go quite well. So this little guy, I think, has probably been coloured in kind of the BV series, is my thoughts. So we could either go with kind of the go down the purple scale, if you like, or go down the blue scale. So we could go kind of purples to pinks would be nice, or we could go into the blues and the teals, which also would be nice. Or if we were to go complete opposites, we'd be kind of like oranges and yellows. But I quite like the idea of doing like the blues and the teals. I think these would be quite nice. So I'm thinking that, yeah, I think these would be quite a nice little way to go. Let's have a look. What have we got in this area? So I've got some cracked pistachio. I think that's going to be a good colour contrast. I think just thinking about just out loud, maybe a bit of stormy sky might work. We could go full on teal background with the peacock feathers. We've got salvage patina. They're such lovely colours. And then maybe the cracked pistachio. Excuse me. And stay a little bit away from the blues, and then we've got the faded jeans. Ooh, I'm thinking these three colours look very nice together actually. Right, okay, so I'm not going with the cracked pistachio now. Sorry, cracked pistachio. I'm going to pop you out of the way. Pop those out of the way. These are my choices. These are my choices. So we've got faded jeans, peacock feathers, and salvage patina. They're going to be my three colours. And that's what we're going to do to ink blend our background. I'll pop my little guide to one side. So that's my little Copic colour wheel chart. If anyone's not seen that before. So just having a quick catch up with some comments. So let me think. XOXO, is that you, Annalisa? It says, so cold here, it's -20. Now I feel really bad for saying that we're cold here, because it's not -20. It's probably about 0 degrees, but it feels very, very cold. 2 cards, and Annalisa, I'll have to watch the replay. I have to say I absolutely love the sped up replays. I watch them while I'm on the treadmill. That's really good. And oh, you've reminded me there. Right, okay, before we start anything, I am going to hit the record button here so that I can do you a sped up version, because I forgot to do that on the last one. Josh says hi. Hi to everyone. Hello, Josh. I hope you're doing well. Lovely to see you talking to each other as well. Julie says they had hail and sleet today, but no snow. We don't get snow that often as too close to the sea. Loved it when it was snowing Saturday when you were up in Sheffield. Oh, we were getting a bit worried though, weren't we? We were getting worried that you might not be able to get home again. So I'm glad it didn't stay. And I think that's been the thing today, is that it's not stayed. We've had the snow, but it's not settled. Love the teal, says Annalisa. It's been a rough day over there in Canada, and I must admit I'm not fully up to date with everything that's been going on, but I've seen a lot of the headlines and things, so I hope you're okay. And 0 is practically tropical for you. So yeah, interesting times. Okay, I need some cardstock, so I'm going to interrupt my mouth for a moment while I just grab some cardstock. Actually, I did have some quite nice large pieces of cardstock, didn't I, in my stash? But I feel like I want some of our super smooth, because it'll be better for blending on. So let me go for this. Is this the super thick one? No, I don't want it too thick. What am I doing, everyone? Here we go. Yeah, that's the one I want. That's the one. I don't want the extra 300 GSM weight. Oh, sorry, my nose is running again. I hate having to blow my nose on screen. I do apologise. Okay then, so I'm going to chop this down, and then I'm going to die cut it. Is what I'm going to do. Yes. So let's. I feel like I'm going to sneeze now as well. Don't apologise. It's all happening here, isn't it? So my dies, I think my die's in here that I want. I did toy with doing a mini slimline today as well, so I might do that with the toast actually. Now then, is it in here or is it in my other little stash box? I've got stash boxes everywhere. It's not in that one, I don't think. Bear with. Is it in this little stash box? I wonder. Oh. What have I done with that? interesting. Maybe it is in here. Where are you, die? Where have I got you? Oh, I do need that one though. So I'll get that one out in preparation. I am looking for the Snow Flurry die, which some of you may know. Some of you may not. May not have seen it. So I would love to show it you if I could just find it. I must have put it somewhere. It must be in here. I'm just being impatient. Let's start again. I'm sure I filed it away because some of my there she is. Look, some of my dies needed magnetic sheets, and this one probably could do with a magnetic sheet actually, because it's slipped in its packaging. But I'm going to cut this out of my cardstock. Cut my cardstock a bit too small there. So I'm going to cut this out of one of my bits of washi tape. Seem very sticky. And then we're going to ink blend onto the cardstock with the. This leaves a nice little pattern in our background, which creates a little bit of interest. So we'll just grab that. Sorry for the noise. I also need a card base, don't I, actually? Let me see if I've got, is that an A6 card base I see right there? Yes, I believe it is. Excellent. So, so you'll see that this cuts out the panel. So that's why it's a cover plate die, because it cuts out the whole piece. So it's an A6 size card panel, and you're going to get all of these little pin pricks in it, and I'm hoping that does show really well actually, so that's really cool. And then it's going to fit onto your card base, which is going to look really, really cool. But we're also going to cut our sentiment out of this as well. So and if you wanted a little bit of a border on the outside, you can also cut it out with the nesting layering dies, which I think I might do because I quite like a bit of a border. But I'm going to ink blend first and then we'll decide. Then we shall decide. So let's have grab my silicone mat here for stenciling. Just catching up with your comments. Hello Siobhan, how are you? How are you doing? And Laura says her pattern papers arrived today. She's planning a die cutting spree tomorrow. Awesome. That sounds really cool. I'm definitely going to play with some papers a bit later on. Laura, sorry. So yeah, look out for that. Right, I'm going to start with the faded jeans, and I'm going to do a bit of an ombre effect from the top down, I think, is my plan. Because my cutie pie is going to be at the bottom, so I want the bluer shade at the top and the more teal shade at the bottom, or aqua shade at the bottom, because that will be a contrast with the blue. So hopefully this works as a combination with our little character, because like I say, I coloured him in before really knowing what I was going to do with him. I just enjoyed the colour scheme when I was colouring him in. So I'm just adding some of the faded jeans across the top.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Anthony is here. Do you want to come and say hello?
Oh, hello there.
Come and not made an appearance for a while, but he is alive.
Barely.
Barely. Yes, I think he's...
Got it connected to both?
Yes, we've managed to connect to both, which is a result.
Just like turning it off and back on again?
No, but it's still an issue. It won't connect to the Facebook scheduled post because the scheduled post just keeps disappearing. So I don't know what I've done. I don't know what you've done. It must be you. So I've got a nice bit of this this faded jeans, and I think that there's quite a nice match there. Siobhan says hello. Siobhan.
Hi, Siobhan.
So yes, we're
Hope you enjoyed Wortley, although it was absolutely miserable the day after.
Yeah, it's just miserable full stop at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, best go and check on our little
yes.
fur baby. Yes,
so Rosie has gone out. She's finally went outside today. She spent most of the day in bed because of the snow. So she has ventured out, and it did feel very cold and windy. So we are just going to go and check on her, make sure that she's okay. Bless her. 5 hours to get home again. Oh, Siobhan, no. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that it was such a painful experience to get to Sheffield. What a nightmare you had. So Siobhan came to our class at the weekend, and she came all the way from Farnborough with her friend Lucy, and they battled through ridiculous sat-nav instructions to get to us, and traffic, and it took them 6 hours, was it, to get to us, which was was not ideal, was it? So yeah, I do feel, but we felt so bad afterwards. We were like, oh God, I wish there was something more we could have done to help, but yeah, it was. I'm gonna just say this now because I just love our brushes so much, and I love it when they're covered in colour, and when the colour really matches the actual colour of the brush handle. It makes me really, really happy. I know that's such a crafty thing to say, but I do. It's just the way it is. This is why I had to have these brushes, because they make me so happy. Thank you, Siobhan. We hope you enjoyed it, even though your journey was awful. And like Aunt says, I hope that they treated you well at the hotel and you had a fun time anyway, regardless of the journey time. Wow. So I'm moving on to the Salvage Patina. I'm going to use the same aqua brush or teal brush that we've got here and go into this lighter shade now. I feel like my blues come quite a long way down, but this I think this the colour at the bottom is going to be it's going to seem quite aqua along the bottom anyway. Oh, hello Lucy, how are you? She says it's totally not our fault, so no need to be sorry. We chose to come up and we loved the time we had making with you guys. Much fun was had, said Siobhan. Oh, thank you so much. That makes me so happy. And I know Julie, who's on, you had a very long journey too, and I know you enjoyed yourself as well. I still haven't had a chance to share the cards that were made, and I really must do that, because there were some great projects made on the day, and we were so chuffed that you came to see us. It was such a lovely day, especially given everything that we've been through recently. It just did give us a real boost, give us a real lift, and we were so grateful to everybody that came. So yeah, thank you so much. It's been a weird time for us with Clyde passing away, and we're still not used to it yet. And I feel that Rosie's been behaving a little bit differently this week. She didn't seem to be too bothered last week. I think she hadn't quite noticed, really. Whereas I think this week it feels like she's being a little bit more. She seems to have gone back to being a kitten again, being a little bit, you know, needy really. In a very cute way. She's come in and she has a toy that she's played with since being a kitten, and she always used to bring it to the top of the stairs, and so you could hear her running upstairs with it. It's got a little bell on it, and it's actually one of those toys that's on a rod, like on a fishing rod, and it's on a bit of an elastic that you can boing. But she doesn't play with it like that. She brings the whole thing with the plastic handle all the way up the stairs. It's really, really cute. So you can hear it, you know, it's bigger than her. She's trying to bring it upstairs. It's very cute. Anyway, she started bringing it into our bedroom at night and crying, really meowing at us, and we're not really quite sure what she's trying to tell us. But she just drops it at our feet, at the bottom of the bed, and meows at us for a little bit, and then just lays down, and it's all very cute. I wish I knew what she was saying, but I feel like this is a new behaviour, or an adapted behaviour since Clyde's left us, and that maybe she's now realising that he's not coming back. So yeah, it's still very, very sad, and now it feels like maybe she's a bit lonely, which again is very sad. So anyway, so yeah, it was a really good distraction for us seeing everybody at the weekend, and we're trying to keep ourselves busy, obviously with work, keeping us busy as always, and we're also doing a little bit of redecorating, which is a bit of a, I don't know if it's a welcome distraction, but it's certainly a distraction. Laura says, it is so frustrating that we can't work out what they're saying. I know, I wish I knew what they were saying, I wish. Now, I've put my silicone mat away, but I wish I hadn't done, but I have done now, so I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to go with it, because I'm really conscious that I'm going to bend this poor little guy, but I don't want to get him covered in ink, so I'm just going to hide him under there. I want to do some splatters, of course. We're going to do some splattering, because we love a bit of splattering. So I do want to do some splatters of, should we do some splatters in metallic, and I'm going to do some splatters in just normal water. Oh, where's my good brush gone? Oh, there it is. It's hiding. This is just my favourite brush, really, for splatters, or one of my favourites. So I'm just doing water at the moment. So I've got a little pot of water here. I've just dipped my brush in it, and then I'm just tapping it, and I'm varying kind of how high or how low I do that tap to get smaller or larger splatters. And then I've got a bit of tissue here that I think I've already used to mop up some texture paste actually, but I'm just going to blot some of those splatters, and we've got a really nice little bit of texture there already just with the water. But I think what we're going to do next is I'm going to try some metallics. So I've got up here behind me, I've got some of my Fine Tech metallic paints, and I really, really love this colour here, and I think this is the one colour that I can't remember the name of. I have got all of the names stored underneath. It could be the Silver Pearl actually. There's Copper Pearl, Silver Pearl, so that'll be the Copper Pearl. There's a copper pearl. There's a rose gold and a gold pearl. And then there's another one. So this could be the silver pearl. That could be the silver pearl. Though. One of them is the silver pearl. So, again, I've just added some water. I might need a little bit more. But I'm doing the same kind of tapping technique all over. So I'm using my acrylic block as a little platform for my tapping technique, and that's created some really nice little splatters. And I'm just going to hold that up so that you can see. And it already looks very nice and shimmery, but when it dries, that's going to have some real nice shimmer to it. So, and I do need it to dry because I want to die cut my sentiment out of it. But we'll not do that just yet. I'm just going to pop that up there. So this could come together again really quite quickly. Excuse me while I blow my nose. Let me grab a drink of water as well. Lovely. Julie says she was happy to travel and loved doing both classes, as made the day longer, and was amazing seeing you both. Almost 2 years to the day since first discovering Time for Tea. Yes. So we were saying at the time that Julie first met us when we were at the NEC in Birmingham for our first trade show. And it was also our last trade show because then we went into lockdown. COVID happened pretty much immediately after that show. So we've not been to one since because they've all been cancelled. But yeah, Julie was there with a friend of hers who owns a crafts store, and she's been a firm follower and friend ever since, which is awesome. So yeah, and I can't believe that it had been almost 2 years to the day that happened. Time seems to have passed so quickly. And so much has happened in that time. Annalisa says, it's very sad. My two girls looked around the house for days and days for our old guy Sparky when he passed away. It's hard on them too. That's it. You don't really know how it's affecting them, do you? Because they can't talk to us, and I wish that they could. I do. So I'm going to blast this with a bit of heat. So apologies for the noise. Just want to speed up that drying process a little bit. I'm going to turn the cardstock over and around a little bit just to try and ease some of the warping. So that's that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much, seems nice and dry. I love the effect of that. This would make such, because it's called Snow Flurry, this set, but I think that would make really beautiful waves, especially in this colour scheme, a really nice, like, sea backdrop. Lucy says, that's when I first met you both, and you were there with Amy. Oh yes, of course. So yeah, you, because you obviously you're good friends with Amy. I didn't realise that was when we first met you as well, Lucy. So God, that's amazing. 2 years ago, it's just flown by, but not at the same time. Weird. Right, let's get this dye out. And so much has happened in those 2 years. You know, Time for Tea has really grown in that time. We've met some wonderful people. The business has really changed, I suppose, in that time as well, because of all of you guys supporting us. And the other thing that has changed is that we're probably not going to be going back to TV anytime soon. So I don't know if you guys have been watching Create and Craft over the last few days. We obviously we're on Create and Craft for quite a while actually. Since we properly launched our stamping range, and they're obviously moving now to over to different premises. And it's been so sad watching it this week because a lot of the people that work there may not be working there in the future, and yeah, it's all very very emotional over there. So it has made me quite sad. Because we made a lot of friends over there, some really good friends over there, and to think that some of them might not be keeping their jobs is awful. People at the studio that work there are so lovely, and it's been a really emotional time watching it. We and thinking that the studio where I first did my screen test and where I've done all of the TAVT shows, that's not going to exist anymore. That's all going to be closed down. So yeah, it's been a bit weird to watch, but we've not planned on going back there anyway. So before this, so we'll see whether we go to the new channel. We're not really sure yet. So what we've got here now is I've cut out that centerpiece, as you can see, and the sentiment itself comes out in one piece. So without those other bits, you can't really read what the word was. So I'm hoping if I put those bits together back in, that we'll be able to read the words. So let's have a look, see if that. So these are all my bits, all my waste. So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to pop this back onto my my cover here, onto my card base, line up those the sentiment into the slot again, and then I'm going to pop back in these bits. Now I don't know whether I want to pop these up. That's my only query. Oh, where's that bit come from? That bit's come from there, hasn't it? So this is where we do a little bit of a jigsaw and hope that it works. So yeah, I feel like maybe I'm going to pop these bits up. So I might add a bit of foam to the back of these bits. So this is going to be quite a satisfying thing to have done, I think, once we've done it, she says. Yes, that's good. Or we could leave those flat and then just pop up the outer bit. But I think it might be worth trying to pop up all the bits. So let me grab some of our lovely foam roll. I've got lots of it here. Just pop it on the side there. We'll just grab. I've got lots of bits of it that have been part used, so that's why my bits are a bit beaten up. Let's start with this piece here. And what I could do to be really clever is just adhere my piece just to the back there, so it doesn't go walkabout, because that's the danger, isn't it? Julie says she was going to ask about what's happening with regards to Create and Craft at the weekend, but it slipped her mind. It was having too much fun. Yeah, we decided not to carry on with Create and Craft for at least for a little while, before the change, we even knew the changes were happening. Just because it was, and this is, now things are changing. This might change, because we were travelling a long way, and I feel awful saying this after the amount of time that Siobhan and Lucy and yourself, Julie, have travelled to come see us. But we were travelling, or I was travelling for the most part, for 2 hours at least there and 2 hours back for a 42-minute show. So that was quite a long journey in itself. But then you've also got to factor in the amount of prep time that was involved, and the amount of extra work that was required by the channel to get things set up ready to go on air. It was very demanding, is what I will say, and in the end, it became a little bit. It just became too much, with everything else that we were trying to do. They wanted us to be on every month as well, and they wanted new and exclusive every month, which is, again, it's just really hard to do when you're a small business. We don't have the resources to be able to do that kind of thing every single month, and not as well as I wanted to. Sometimes I felt that things were rushed. I certainly felt like on air we were rushed. So yeah, it just became a lot of hard work. So we took the decision, or I took the decision, I guess, on our behalf, that actually it wasn't really worth us doing in the same format. We weren't going to be on as often. The other thing to bear in mind as well was that a lot of the charges that we were incurring for being on the channel were increasing in the new year. So just things like we would be charged for accessing their online systems and things, which we felt was not right, really. Particularly, like I say, small business trying to get on. It was just too much for us. So in the grand scheme of things, we decided no, we weren't going to do it. And then the announcement came that the channels were changing now, and the companies were merging. Now, I should just say at this point as well that I have absolutely nothing against Create and Craft at all. It wasn't anything really that Create and Craft had done, or any of the people that I'd worked with at Create and Craft, because Create and Craft is what started me crafting in the first place, and I owe them a huge debt because of that, because I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for them. And that's why I've always kind of persisted with it a little bit. But at some point you have to think, is the amount of effort I'm putting in really, is it worth it? And am I, compromising our products too much? Because I've not got as much time as I would like. So that's really where the decision came from. I am very grateful to Create and Craft for the help and the start and the mentoring that they gave me right at the very beginning, and and like I say, I've met a lot of lovely people there that I hope we stay in touch with. So I wasn't intending on then going on TV at all then for a good while at least. But then obviously things have changed because the craft store has taken over, and it's possible because they're going to the hour shows now, which is better. Their terms and costs are not as extreme. So again, that all adds up to, is this possibly going to be more worthwhile now? So we may reconsider. We'll see. I'm quite enjoying at the moment the freedom of knowing that I don't have to rush to prepare for a show. So that's why at the moment it's feeling quite like I don't have to rush and make a decision as to whether we go back on there. So we'll see, but I am interested to see what the new studios are like, definitely. So let's and you just hope that everybody's being treated well, don't you? Because like in any company, when people are going through redundancies and things, it's not nice at all, is it? So there we go. So we've got those bits included in there now. So now you can see the words have reappeared, which looks really cool. So hopefully I've lined those up properly. Yeah, that looks cute. Okay, and now we've also got another one of these that I'm going to add to this one because we can use that on a different project. Cool. So I don't think I'm going to cut this down. I was going to add a border, but I really quite like it. So we've got the little guy here, which is cute, and then the sentiment that we had was "You're a real cutie pie," which I think could look quite cute up there. And I think it looks quite good in white as well because of the white background. So I think that adding that up there is just going to look really, really cute, isn't it? Could this be like the quickest card that I've ever made? It could be. So I like it. I'm feeling it. And when you're feeling it, you should just go with it. Siobhan says you have to enjoy what you're doing. You absolutely do. And I did enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed being at the studios. And like I say, I loved all the people. But the run up to it was always super, super stressful, I have to admit. And I used to get myself really wound up because I know I do the Facebook Lives and we do these regularly now, and I've got used to them. But being on live TV is a different situation altogether. So I used to get myself really wound up. I used to be very critical of my performance and my demos and all of that. So I did used to find it I used to get so nervous. Dawn Wheeler was so good because she would really like talk me down off the ceiling a lot of times because I was getting myself all wound up before I went on air. So it's a very, very nerve-wracking experience because the other aspect to it is you are live, so whatever mistakes you make them live, which can be tough. Oh, sorry, my phone's not on silent, so that's what you could hear beeping in the background. So it was always stressful, and I get myself in such a kind of stressed state about it that afterwards I was so drained. Like it'd probably take me at least a full day, if not longer, to get over it. And Aunt would always say, it is really draining you, So, and he would be so worried about me because obviously I'd take such a long time to recover. But it always went better than I thought it was going to do. So why I got myself in that much of a stress, I don't know. But it's just public speaking has never really been my thing, and I'm so surprised that I'm actually able to do this. You know, because I was always very reluctant to do anything of this nature in my previous work life. But I think it's because the crafting community is so supportive and is so encouraging that it has given me real confidence to keep going and to keep doing what I love doing, because you guys seem to love it too. So yeah, I'm really appreciative of that. And the other thing, you know, and I say this to some of my other like crafty business friends, like other people with crafty businesses, that this is the best job I've ever had, and I really don't want to have to stop doing it. So I will keep pushing myself to do things that are scary, because I want to be able to keep bringing you the products that we do, and I don't want to have to stop doing that. So yeah, so it does make you you know, make you try, not try harder, but just push yourself further out of your comfort zone than you perhaps normally would. When I was doing it for somebody else, I wasn't that motivated to push myself and scare myself, but I suppose when you're doing it for yourself, you know, you're probably a little bit more inclined to do that, aren't you? So I guess that's what I've done. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing here is I'm really building up the structure here, because I don't want any of these bits that are sticking out, of which there are a few. I don't want them to collapse. I want them to have a good bit of you know, bit of support, shall we say. So I'm just using little bits of our foam tape here, which is good because you can just easily snip it into the sizes that you want, so that you're going to get that support for all of your little the parts of the word, aren't they? I can't think of what to call them. Annalisa says, I'm so amazed by your courage to go on live TV. I can't imagine how scary that must have been. It was so scary. And it didn't really get any less scary, really. Maybe I did become a bit more familiar with it. I don't think I was on often enough for it to become like, you know, like when you start a new job, and for the first couple of weeks, you know, every day you don't know where anything is and you don't know anybody, and it's really nerve-wracking. And then all of a sudden it just becomes normal. Then you've got into your routine, you know who you need to speak to, you know where you need to go, you know how pretty much everything works, and you know you're a bit more comfortable then. So every day after that becomes less and less scary, but because there were such big gaps between us going on air, I keep saying us, it's the royal us. It was just me that went on air and never came on air, although he did very often come with me for the journey to keep me company and give me support. It was really tough actually during you know, all of the COVID stuff. Right up until the last time that I went, he wouldn't have been allowed in the studios. He wasn't even allowed in the building. He wasn't allowed to come in the green room or anything like that, which was such a shame because he got on so well with a lot of the people who worked there, who always said to pass on their regards and so on to him, because he couldn't come in, and you know, for the first shows that I did, they let him come in the studio and sit in the studio while I was filming, while I was on air, and I could see him in the background just like giving me the thumbs up all the time, like, yeah, you're doing great, and that did really help me actually, knowing that he was there, and I was getting a little bit of feedback that everything was going okay. But then obviously with COVID, that wasn't allowed anymore. So excuse me while I just concentrate for a wee moment, because I need to line this up as best as I can. I think I've done that quite well. I think we've done quite well there. Yes. Sorry, my head's right in shot. That wasn't attractive, was it? I don't think there were many greys though, so we're good. So yes, that's frozen a little bit. Let me see if I can get it moving again. Sometimes if I don't move, it freezes a little bit. I don't know why. So it was such a shame that he couldn't come in the studios with me in the end. But yeah, I think that was because, like I say, because I wasn't there that often. It did sometimes mean that it did mean then that I wasn't as confident. Now I've got a little bit of a plan here with this little cutie pie, because to pop up this bit with foam tape is going to be really tough, because it's already, because I've been holding on to it for so long. It's got a little bit bent and a bit smashed up. So my thought process here is, why don't I use my my coordinating dies, if I can find them. No, that's not the one I want, is it? Why have I got two of those? I've got two of those. I thought I've got two of those open, but thankfully I haven't. Here he is, my little cutie pie. So I'm going to cut out just the coordinating die a couple of times with some of this. I'll just use this bit of cardstock that we've got spare, and I'm going to layer him up. So let's just chop a bit of this cardstock down here, and this is as well, I should say that, you know, when I came on tonight, I was a bit like, oh, I don't know what I feel like doing, and I've been, like I say, I've been a bit fed up because it's been so cold and horrible and stuff outside, and just wasn't feeling very crafty. And then I get on with you guys and I just start doing something, and now I feel like I just want to keep going and I don't want to stop, which is what I love about this hobby of ours, is that it's so addictive, and it just really just chills me out. And I did try my very best when I was crafting on TV to just think, you just come on to do a bit of crafting. That's all you're doing. It's just like a Facebook Live. You're just going on and chatting about craft and doing a bit of crafting. And I actually, once I got into it, it wasn't so bad, because the presenters were so lovely. And Lisa, it's such a shame that I couldn't go to so many of them with you. I'm sure it was such a huge support. Oh, it was. And I mean, the number of times during, like I said, during lockdown, that he travelled all that way with me. And he drove usually, because I was so nervous. I didn't really want to drive. So he would then sit, because I had to be there 2 hours before the show. So we had a 2 hour drive, 2 hours to wait before the show started. Then I was on for 42 minutes. Then we had to travel back for another 2 hours. So by the time you've done, you've spent at least 6, probably 7, more like 7 or 8 hours. He's been in the car travelling, watching me in the car, probably in the cold most of the time. Although he did spend a bit of time during the summer sweating in the car as well, watching me on his phone. Bless him. So yeah, it was a bit of a rubbish time for him to come all that way as well. which, you know, in the end, I just had to man up and say, look, I'm going to do this on my own because it's not fair on you. But I still preferred it when it was there. So we can add these all together now. Stack these all up. And then stack this little guy on top. And we've created almost like a little chipboard piece of our own, which I think is really cool. We could also do the same with the sentiment, but I think the sentiment I can quite easily get some of our foam tape on there. So I'm going to stick these together with some liquid glue. And just layer one on top of each other, and that's just going to help with the support in that middle piece as well. He is an amazing support, Annalisa. I'm very lucky to have him. He's been very supportive. He's been, you know, I mean, he's struggled with the loss of Clyde, just as I have, and he's been really great. You know, we've supported each other through that. I'm glad he's been here with me. I'm glad he's been able to have a little bit of time off work as well, to so that we can, you know, can spend a bit of time together. Otherwise, I think I would have felt very lonely. Right, so look at that now. We've got a lovely bit of dimension on there, so we can add him, and we could still add a little bit of foam tape to the back of him, but I'm just going to stick him on as is because I think he looks cute. Julie's asking me a random question. If going to use a time for tea die to make pockets to put a folded worksheet in that could easily be taken out, which die would one use? Ooh, interesting question. Now I'm going to say the layering dies would be good for that, to make pockets, because you can kind of, I guess, cut them in half. The other ones that would have been good for your portfolio, I thought so. Thought I'd ask to see what everyone's thoughts were before you sit and look through all your dies. It's for your portfolio. I don't know if you've got the square label dies, because I think they would be quite cool. And again, you could cut them in half and they'd make a nice decorative pocket. That's what I'd be tempted to use, potentially. Yeah, I'm just having a think. Depends whether you want it to be simple or to be decorative, I suppose. So yeah, if anybody else has got any ideas or thoughts, do let Julie know. Right, so I'm going to add a bit of foam tape to the back of our sentiment here now. Let's get this popped up. Is anybody crafting along tonight? I feel like I've just rambled on about creating craft there for a bit, so I don't know if anybody was really interested in that. I was just, like I say, I've been watching it today and it just made me a little bit sad. So yeah, who's crafting along with me tonight? And what are we crafting? What are we up to? What are we doing? You're a real cutie pie. Yeah, I like it. Oh, I like that a lot. And the other thing that you could do is you could, similar to how we've just done the little pie, you could cut out several of the Love You lots and layer up each of those elements with some more of your, go on, speak to me, with more cardstock. Because then these little tiny pieces that I haven't been able to add any foam tape to, they would be better supported. So that's another idea to help with the support element. Now I'm just having a little thinkity think, because I want to add some little oh, come on, grab it. Oh, you can grab it. I've got some of of our little clear drops, and I'm going to try and get some more of these, guys, because I know how much you all love them, and I love them too. These little droplets. Let me just tip a few out on here. They're in all different sizes. They're super, super cool, and they add just a great little bit of bling to your project without really taking anything away from it. I don't know why my quick sticks tool has decided to not work. So I think just adding a few of these is going to just look really cute. So just adding some of these, some of the, where else could we have one? I feel like I want a little one just there. Oh yeah, that looks quite cute. And maybe, oh, come back. That's a really tiny wee one, that one. Maybe this size. Excuse me. I just like all the little droplets. I think they look really cute. Do I need an extra one there? I do like that. What do we think? Do we think that looks quite good? I think I'm going to go with that. So, Siobhan says she's layering cutout dies. Oh, so similar kind of to what we've been doing with our little pie. Crafty Blonde says, I agree, the square label dies would make a nice fancy pocket. Oh, thank you. Laura says that she was laminating for work and then got distracted there watching a section of Dragon's Den. So missed Julie's question. You are really multitasking there, Laura, aren't you? You're doing a bit of everything tonight. You're watching us, you're watching Dragon's Den, you're laminating, you're doing work. You're quite the multitasker. I love that. And then Lucy says, I've been stamping and colouring lucky ducks even. That's very cute. We were playing with the lucky ducks, weren't we, at the weekend? So I'm buzzing that you're still wanting to play with them. They are one of my favourite sets, the ducks. Right, I'm just going to see if I can get my my glossy accents to come back to life. It's got a little bit clogged up here. Looks like I'm going to have to pin it. Got my little pin here. Come on. What's going on? There we go. Oh no. Oh no, it's well and truly clogged. Don't normally have this problem. Let's try it one more time. It's going to need a good clean, I think. It's truly clogged. But it looks like it's starting to come through. Yeah, there we go. So I do just like using my glossy accents for this. It's a really good strong adhesive, as well as being a great thing for adding gloss to your images and so on. But because it dries clear, even if, you know, a little bit does peek out, it's going to be glossy and it's going to be nice. I think it is just the safest bet for adding your embellishments. But it's clearly just got a little bit clogged there for some reason. Make sure I just clean the end of it. So, if you put the top on the right way around, open it. So there you go. So I think that is our card finished, which is in record time, pretty much. So that's pretty good, isn't it? Should we have a little closer look at some of that shimmer and shine? I think that is very, very cool. I love how the sentiment looks really lovely and bold in the white. And you could do the opposite if you wanted to. You could cut out the sentiment in white and layer that up on top. So rather than cutting it out of your backdrop, just add it on in white cardstock would look just as lovely and have that as your dimension. So yeah, really cool. So that's our card. Very cute. I think what I will do while I'm here, I'll show you the other card that I was planning on doing and that I'd halfway finished. And I wasn't quite sure what to do with it yet next. So I've got this card base, which is an A2 size card base. I've got some of our pattern paper. So this is from the what was it called? The Joyful Winter. That's right. The Joyful Winter patterned paper set, and I used the frame from the Lovely Friend die set here. Oh, standing on my frame tape. And I used that to cut out this scalloped edge, which was really cool. So I wanted that down the side because I thought that's going to look really nice. And then I also wanted to use my little donuts here. So I've stamped and coloured out these little donuts, which are really, really cute. And I wanted to use the sentiment that comes with them. I don't know what I'd do without you, which is very cute as well. And I cut out the die. So the dies that come with the set don't cut out the centre. But the centre I cut out using one of the dies from our memory keeping die set. There's a little circle die in there that cuts out the centre just nice. So so you can always use one of your circle dies, or maybe a circle punch, the small circle punch that you've got, to cut out the centre of those if you want them. So yeah, so then I was a bit like, oh right, I don't quite know what to do with it now. Although stacking up my my donuts would look quite cute as well, I think, possibly. Now I've just done that. And I like my little donut with his little tash. I think he looks really cute. So I had also got a tag from that that memory keeping set, and I wondered whether to add them to the tag as a bit of extra interest. I'm not really sure whether I want to do that or not. So I got a little bit stuck at this point. Wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I just know that I liked a lot of the elements that were here. So yeah, this was kind of my next project really, was to try and figure out what to do with that. And I don't know whether to just stick with those guys on the backdrop there, which does, they just looked a little bit lost, you know, which is why I thought that the tag would be quite cute. So yeah, I don't know whether I need to think about this one a little bit more. But I do quite like that as a setup. But I need to add some decoration to my tag, I think, and maybe a little bit of twine. I think I'm going to go for this. I think I'm going to go for it, and let's just see what it turns out like, because sometimes you just have to go for this. Just a bit of detail onto it. That's right. That's what I'm thinking. but I wasn't quite sure what detail I wanted to add to it. So, but I've got a bit of an idea. So, one of my thought processes was to add a bit of splatter to the back of here. So we've already done a bit of splattering today. So I'm partial. Now then, where have I put that? Oh, there it is. So I've got a little bit of gouache here, which I do like to do a bit of splattering with. So I'm just going to add a little dollop of that onto an acrylic block. And I'm going to grab my brush again that we used earlier and some of our water here. And I'm going to water this down so that it's a nice consistency for splattering. And again, we can probably do some metallics on here in maybe the rose gold, might be quite nice. So, a bit of a dollop of water there, but don't worry about that. And I'm splattering it everywhere but on my cardstock here now. Might need to just make this a little bit wetter. I've literally splattered this everywhere, all over my iPad and everything, and not actually on the card itself. So I'm concentrating my focus on this side because that's where you're going to see it, isn't it? So I'm just going to do some flicks now to see if that gets a little bit more on my oh my god. Serious cleanup required on this aisle now. And a bit more flicks. That's good. So we're getting a little bit better. This is where your splat box comes in. Right, so that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to do a little bit of a clean up now because I've made quite the mess. Thankfully I didn't get it all over the card that we've just made, but I'm going to move that out of the way just in case in case I do decide to destroy it. I'm really pleased with that how that's turned out actually. Yeah, I like it. So I'm going to grab a trusty baby wipe. And I am going to wipe my screen here, so that means I've lost, there we go, and it is literally gone everywhere. Okay, just give this old surface a good wipe. Messy crafter. So there we go, so that's that. So let's give this a little bit of a blast with the heat gun. See, it's warping my paper a little bit, so I'm going to do it from both sides. Got a little bit of a heart in there somehow. That will help straighten it out a little bit. Okay, so that's not quite dry yet, but it's getting there. And I'm going to go with, let's go with a little bit of pink on the background as well. So I'm going to try, throwing things, I'm going to try a bit of one lipstick here. And let's try a bit of pink, although it's a bit pinker than my actual image, but we'll see what it turns out like. when it's actually splattered. Oh yeah, I like that. See, that splattered much better. Did a much better job splattering the pink. Excellent. Okay, so that's good. So we've got a bit of pink, we've got a bit of white on there, so that's nice. So then my thoughts were, and let's just blast this again. And just gonna maneuver it around a little bit to help with some of the warpage there, and use my bone folder as well. So if you were doing this, you would probably let it dry naturally so that you didn't get the warping, but I'm just doing it super quick for the purposes of getting this done. So now we've got a little bit of a backdrop, which is going to look really fun. So I'm going to do something similar with this, but I'm also going to do a bit of stenciling on my background. And I'm going to use the confetti stencil for this because, well, for one thing, it's a lovely stencil, but it also replicates the sprinkles that are on top of our donuts. So I'm going to start with, I think, some of the one lipstick in a light fashion just over the center here, because I don't want it to be too dark. Just want to add a little bit of colour, a little bit of interest. That's it, that's looking quite good. I'm just going to bring in my images again just to see. Now, let's have a go at adding a little bit of pink. I'm going to change now to my stackable brushes because these are really good for getting some real targeted colour, and let's add some of these sprinkles in the background. So we've got some of the pink sprinkles, and then I'm going to move it around. And I'm going to let's add some blue sprinkles. What colour blue am I going to go for though? Should I go for some tumbled glass? I'm going to do a little bit of a test here with my blue. Got a bit of blue on my brush here already, so I'm just going to give this a little bit of a So Lindsay says that honestly, when she splatters, it goes everywhere else rather than the place that you want it to be. I looked the other day and thought, what are those blue dots on my walls? Then it came to me. That's really good. Jackie says the quick stick glue you use, I can't see it on Amazon. Do you sell it? The quick stick glue? Do you mean the quick sticks thingy pen, the pickup tool? It's by We Are Memory Keepers, if this is one that you mean. It's a precision pickup and placement tool, so try saying that 3 times fast. So yeah, that's the one that I use to pick up my my bits, if that's the one you mean. But do let me know if that wasn't what you meant. So I'm now going to go in with the blue. Now the blue is probably going to make a little bit of a purpley colour. But the thing about the oxides is that they do tend to layer, so we might not get that that effect. Which and because I'm using the more precision stackable brush, it means I can get more colour down. So that is going to help with the layering. Rather than blending, I'm layering the colour. So, and I'm quite happy with how this is. Looks like it's gone down in a really nice blue, you know, good blue tone. Oh yeah, I like it. I like that a lot. Yay. Very cute. Very, very cute. So, and you can keep doing a bit of, you know, bit of manoeuvring around. Do I want any more? I feel like I do want more, but I don't think I can get. I wonder if I use a bit more of this kind of a teal kind of a colour, which is a bit peacock feathersy, isn't it? Shall we try some of that? Or let's try it. What's the worst that could happen? She says, I'm going to use this green brush. I'm going to just do a test of it. What do we think? I think that could work. That might bring it all together. Or ruin it. One of the two. So I've just randomly positioned this now where I thought there were some gaps, and we're creating a bit of a tumble of confetti and the thing, or sprinkles. And the thing is, like we always say, it's a piece of cardstock, so if we don't like it, you know, we don't have, there's no law that says we have to use it. But I quite like that. I think that's quite cute. I'm digging it. I'm gonna go with it anyway. I think it's nice. I quite like the addition of the peacock feathers as well. But I'm not gonna leave it there. No. No, we're not gonna leave it there. Got a nice pile of whatchamacallit, of inks. Oh yeah, look, that looks really cute behind there. Doesn't that look sweet now? So this is good. This is yeah, this is nice. I like it a lot. But like I say, I'm not going to leave it there. I haven't learned from the experience that we've just had, because I'm now going to do some more splattering with the white that didn't seem to want to work. But let's try it. Might do use a different brush this time. So let's might try a smaller brush, but I'm going to use this to get it all mixed up. Although I do quite want some big splatters on here, so let's try it. In fact, I might do some flicks on this one. See, I'm being a bit more ginger with my flicking because it went all over the shop. Oh, that's good. That's doing a bit of a better job, isn't it? I do want some up here though. Come on. That's it. Now we're cooking on gas. Maybe I just need to be a bit more violent. That's it. Oh. Seem to be flicking up instead of down. Interesting technique. There we go. I think that's quite good. That's all right. I'm not pushing my luck any further. Let's have just a bit of a clean up again. To clean the screen after the event. So this is the little tag that we've created with some of our splatters there, which is looking quite fun, I think. So again, it's going to need to just dry off a little bit so that we can finish up, because I also want to pop a little hole in there. Excuse me, I just need to blow my nose again. I'll just come off the screen for a second because You really don't want to see that, do you? Okay, so let me think. So in this, just thinking about where my set is. So in the so this is our Memory Keeping Essentials die set, and this is the little die that I was telling you about that I used to cut out the hole in my my donuts, which I've moved out of the way so that I didn't get them covered in white paint. So, but you all can also use that to make a little tag hole. So I am going to use that, but I obviously need to let my tag dry first. So let's pop that to one side for the minute. Let's move some things out of the way because I'm getting surrounded by bits here. Let's pop some of my inks away. Let's be a bit tidy, and then we know what we're doing, hopefully. Excellent. So I'm going to start, I think, with a bit of assembly by popping this bit of cardstock here. Now, do I want to pop that up or leave it flat? I might be tempted to leave that flat and pop up my tag and the other bits that are on there, because otherwise there's going to be quite a lot of dimension. But we do like the dimension, don't we? But I'm going to go with this, and then I'm going to snip off the bits that we don't need, because we know it's a bit too long. So that's what I'm going to do. And the warping that we've got on the card, don't worry about that, because we can, once we've got bits stuck to it, it's actually going to it's going to help with the warping. But we can also pop it under something heavy overnight. The other thing that you could do is just pop it through your die cutting machine, so I've heard, and that will just help flatten it out. So I've just trimmed that off there with my paper scissors, so that now fits perfectly on our card front. And our card front has dried lovely, so I'm going to apply a little bit of heat to this, and so that I don't burn my fingers, I'm going to use my reverse action tweezers. Some big dollops of the white on here that might take a little bit longer. To dry. So I'm just going to speed things up a little bit. You could also use some of your stencil pastes on here. That would make a nice background as well. Seems to have pretty much got it all. And now I can just grab that die and cut a little hole out of the top there, for our little tag, so it looks like an actual tag, because then I'm going to attach a little bit of twine at the top as well, which I think is going to look quite cute. What do I do with my die machine? Go. So let's pop that in there. Oh, I know. So there are a couple of things, aren't there? A couple of things that are on the horizon. One is that we're recruiting for new design team members. So if you haven't seen already, please head to the blog. I don't think I positioned that very centrally, but I don't think it matters. So yeah, head over to the blog and you will find there. Details of how to apply should you want to. We're also and the closing date for that is the 21st of March, so you have got a bit of time to apply. And then the other thing to let you know about is that we do have a collaboration blog hop going on this weekend with our friends at Heffy Doodle. So if you want to, there is a chance to win prizes during that as well. So do join us on Saturday to see all of the wonderful inspiration from both design teams. So we've done a bit of a mashup. And if I get a chance, I am going to try my best to do a bit of a live crafty session using some Time for Tea and Heavy Doodle products myself, because I think that would be really cool to do. So let me have a little look for some twine here, just bear with. And then we can pop this guy together. So I've got a little bit of twine in here. And I'm wondering, do we go with the blue or do we go with the pink? So we've got some pink here, which is nice. We've also got a bit of blue, which is also very nice. Or do we why don't we just combine the two? Do a bit of a twine collaboration. So how am I going to attach these then? Shall I do a bow? So I think. Do a little bit of a bow situation. I'm never very good with tying up my twine. Especially when people are watching you, it's very pressured. Right. I quite like that. I never do quite enough. I feel like I need longer tails. So let me just loosen this and we'll do a little bit of a longer tail. There we go. Let's snip this off. Here. It's not often that I use bits of twine and ribbon and things, but I do have a little stash of it that I keep just for such occasions. And sometimes it's just nice to have. And I think sometimes it's better to have a little bit more than you need and not enough. Okay. Yes. That's quite a good amount, good sizing. Let me just make that a little bit shorter. So then that's going to go just here on our card front. So I'll snip that down. That's looking quite cute. Let me just move these out of the way. Tidying up as I go. Oh, kicked kicked me out of Facebook there. There we go. Right, so now we can add our little donuts onto the tag here. Like I say, I'm going to use a bit of foam tape for these. So let's get my foam tape here. But you could do similar to what we've done before and layer up your die cuts maybe. These are going to overlap, so maybe I didn't need tape on that side. Yeah, that's right. Yes, you've got to think about where they're going to be overlapping. So a bit of tape. So I'll have tape all over this guy, but not on the other one, so that they can overlap. Like they're snuggling up. Snuggling donuts. So let's so let me just figure out what did I do with my sentiment, everyone? Can anyone remember? Oh, it's right in front of me, look. So that's going to go on the bottom there. So I think just about there. I think. Loving the donuts, says Siobhan. Thank you. I think the donuts are super cute. Who doesn't love a donut? So actually, can I just move him a little bit? Sorry, Mr. Donut. Now I'm going to have to do a little bit of surgery. See if we can get. Might not be able to get these up now. Oh no! I just wanted to put him a little bit higher up, but the tape's too darn good. So I just put her a little bit lower. I'm saying her, could be he. And then, yeah, that there. Now, one of the things that you can do with your twine is add a little bit of multimedia mat. That makes them a little bit firmer, which is a good technique if you want to stop them from moving around so much. If you don't want them to, if you want them to lay in a particular spot, then that is a really good medium and a good glue for that purpose. So I think I might leave mine to just roam free at the moment. We'll see. So we're adding plenty of dimension here because we've got our sentiment popped up along the bottom here. She's going to look very cute. And then I'm also going to pop up my tag on the back here, and I'm going to use some of my thicker foam tape for this. And I think I'm going to do it on a bit of a jaunty angle. And because my twine isn't wanting to sit where I want it to, I might use that multimedia because it's driving me mad. Okay, so let's flip this over and get some tape on the back of here. I'm going to do it along here, I think. Oh, I hope I've lined that up okay. You can't see it. And I've obviously made that a little bit too narrow along the middle now, which is annoying. So I'm just going to have to, why have I picked up them scissors? They're far too small. Let's just trim this down the middle then. Add that in there. Alice, how are you? Lizzie says she loves the donuts, made a card this week with them. Need to put faces on them next time. Yeah, the faces are really cute. I don't think there are many things that, like inanimate objects that don't look cute without a little smiley face on them. Caramel donuts, please, says Claire. Oh, yes. You're going to make me very hungry, you guys, with this. Because I am trying to be good at the moment. Alice says it's been a hectic day, so you're now relaxing, watching a bit of crafting. Has it been a good hectic day? Has it felt productive, though? That's the main thing. And it's good that you're getting to relax with a bit of crafting now as well. So let's pop that there. And then, like I say, this is moving around a bit and it's getting a bit on my nerves. So I'm tempted to just give it a little bit of something to stop it from moving around so much. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of this out. If it comes out, I've not used this for a while either actually, so this might be a little bit clogged. There it is. I'm going to add a little bit of just this scrap here, and I'm going to kind of place it underneath, wipe it underneath if you like, so that I can then position it. This is just so that I don't get it on my fingers, but I'm probably going to end up with it on my fingers anyway. It's a little bit clogged, but I think we're going to be able to work with it. There. Might have to put this directly on here because it doesn't seem to be sticking that bit. There we go. So we can kind of stick those in place, and then I am going to put some of this on my fingers, so just be careful if you are going to do this that you are happy with adhesives on your fingers. And I'm just going to rub it onto the bits of twine there, and it's just going to give them a little bit of, it'll just make them a little bit, I guess, a little bit more rigid, so that they stay in the shape that you want them to be in when it dries. So just adding a little bit of curl to it. They do look a little bit like they're moving. And then again with the knot itself, I'm just going to add a little dollop and work that in. It dries clear, but that's going to keep my knot in place once it dries. That's just a little handy little trick for keeping your bows looking tidy, hopefully. so yeah, I think now we've done that. Sorry, I moved a little bit further down the desk there so that I could see what I was doing. So you probably just got the top of my head again there, didn't you? Get rid of some of this mess, so that we can have a good look at our finished card here. And I really like it now. Like I say, I wasn't quite sure what to, I had all the bits, but I didn't quite know what to do with them. So just adding a little bit of stenciling in our background there on that tag, and then a bit of twine. I think that looks really quite sweet now. Yay! Sweet treats. So we've been all about the sweet treats actually tonight, haven't we? We've got a little pie, and then we've got our donuts. So 2 cards made in one evening. Yay! Yay me! So Alice has had a lovely school trip to Peterborough Cathedral, and then a book raffle. That does sound like a very productive day. I'm very hectic. Yeah, I think rather you than me. But I'm sure it was awesome. So I'm glad you're getting a bit of relaxation time now anyway, Alice. Julie says she's waiting until next week to craft with new bits that you bought at the weekend. As if the boys seen it, they'd want me to stamp and die cut bits for them, as it's half term this week. Of course, I always forget because we don't have children. We don't really acknowledge when the term times are. So Julie says that she will play when they're at school, but did manage to cut out some bits for last Sunday. Oh yes, you had a few hours to yourself, didn't you? Julie says super cute card. Lauren says beautiful cards, and Siobhan says brilliant cards. Emma says lovely cards, and Lucy Dye says she loves them both. Yay! Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you for watching. I know it's been a little bit longer because we did the 2 cards again today. I'm on a bit of a roll, aren't I? I'm managing to do 2 cards each live, which I'm sure it won't last. And I think that's because we've not done the stamping and colouring in. The images being coloured before we started, so we've just done a bit of construction. But I do think it's nice to see sometimes how we put cards together, and how that bit of process happens, because you can have lots of images coloured up but then not necessarily know quite what to do with them, can't you? So I like to have the images coloured, and then play with my backgrounds and how I'm going to put them together. That I do like that. But sometimes you might want to work with a particular colour scheme, so you're going to colour your images to meet that colour scheme as well, which is a good thing to do when you're working from papers. So if you know that you're going to use a particular pattern paper, for example, then using that as a jumping off point to colour your images is a good thing to do as well. So we might do that next time, and do a project from start to finish, including the colouring. Anyway, who knows? We'll see what happens. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. I'm going to go and get myself a cup of tea, I think, and see what Rosie's up to. And hopefully we don't get any more snow. I hope you're all snuggled up warm wherever you are. And I'll see you next on Tuesday at 12 p.m. for another Crafting Live. I'll see you all again really soon, guys.